This here is Amateur Artist Mark D channel, and I'm doing a video intro to the Donny Pavolini Outdoors Canteen Cup Adventure Cook Set. That's why it's an adventure. And by the way, Donny, this thing worked excellent. So y'all take care, don't stare, watch out for those low-flying UFOs out there. They have been known to pick up a few folks. Alrighty, before I get started here, I want y'all to know there's no soundtrack in the back because I actually deleted the audio on all these clips after I got everything put together, because I sat there and watched myself and almost put myself to sleep. That's the difference between having people at the house trying to sleep and you can't make any noise, you can't act goofy, you can't act weird. Anyway, let's get on with the video. What I'm doing here is I'm watching the video and I'm putting my own narration in there. Then we got some 70% isopropyl alcohol going into my favorite little measuring cup just for this purpose. It's about halfway full. And next we're going to see, yes, I believe, I know what it is. There it is, yes sir, the magic yellow bottle heat. Now you guys and gals have got to try this combination out there. And you need to make a video of it. Y'all really needs to do this. The measurement's about half and half. And it does not soot the pots up. I promise you it doesn't. Now it will put a little of that brown stain on it, what I call the brown patina. But then again, if you're not using your pots, if you're not cooking with your pots, that tells me you're not cooking. Now Donny also sent me that magnesium bar, and I could tell by looking at it, he kind of played around with it just a little bit. Now in the original video, I'm trying to tell you, it also comes with this, I think it was the blade bar hacksaw, as I put it. It was an embarrassing thing. It's a chopped off piece of hacksaw blade. Now about 5 or 6 strikes later, I finally get that thing to go, because it's still got a little bit of that black stuff on there that keeps it from oxidizing, and there's some glue on the side. Now there's the canteen. That's the Canteen cup right there, man. And this thing is not designed, I'm going to put a little bit of water in there just to keep it from scorching. It's not designed for the Trangia or the Trangia pot sand. It's a little bit too narrow, but I do balance that thing on there just right. Now, I also want to say that I know how to fix that. That's why I'm pointing out right there. I watched a video by old Hiram Cook. Y'all need to go check him out. If you don't know Hiram Cook, he boils an awful lot of water. He's one of the greatest technicians out there when it comes to boiling water. Y'all go check him out, Hiram Cook. His link will be in the description box below, along with Donny Pavolini Outdoors. Now, you know what? Matter of fact, in case you're interested to how to fix that, I will put the link to that video. It's going to be the third link down below on how to modify that Trangia pot stand. Man, I tell you what, Donny, I am so proud of that lid. And here I'm speaking about that lid and how people want that lid to remain tight. You know what I'm talking about? Sealing down on top of their container. It helps. Well, guess what? I don't like a tight sealing lid. Now, there's the wooden spoon that Donny sent me. And let me tell y'all what, folks, he did a fine-ass damn job of carving that spoon by hand. He told me, he says, you might have to sit there and sand it down a bit. I ain't touching it, Donny. I'm going to keep it exactly as is, and it is definitely going into my backpack. Now, y'all may think I'm a little bit crazy, but I use what I've got. Now, that pot stand for the Trangia, I'm not exactly happy with. It fits a lot of other large type of pots, but it will not even fit the Stanley Adventure Camp Cook set. Now, here I inserted this video. Since I was talking about it, I want to show you what I was talking about. There's the Stanley, and it fits inside that Trangia pot stand without the Trangia itself, of course. And I'm like, no. Those tabs right there will not allow it to go all the way to the bottom. However, you can pack something down in there underneath it to help save space. Now, once you get that Trangia modified, when you score down those sides, Here's an example. It's not been done, but it gives you an example of what I'm talking about. It's still a little bit not quite stable, a little bit on the bouncing side because the Stanley's got that tapered bottom. But we're going to get back to that. I've got a way to fix it, I believe. Alright, here we go back to the original video. And what I want to show y'all here is the Trangia itself. This thing's burning on the sides and it's not quite doing what it's supposed to do as far as keeping all the heat directly underneath the pot. It's spilling over to the front side, that bowed end. Well, guess what? Not everything is super compatible with everything. But we're going to make that work. Now here's Donny's spoon. It just so happened it was a perfect fit. I mean perfect fit to remove that lid. And I'm just so impressed with this wooden spoon. Donny, I've told you before, man, that spoon means more to me than a book of matches. I mean, it really does. It does a fine, fine job. Here I'm trying to show the boiling ability of the Trangia, and y'all, it works well. I do highly recommend you getting the original Trangia burner. I don't know if the knockoffs are just as good. I've seen some videos on them, but that's the original mini Trangia, and it works. Now we can make stoves. You know, we can do the aluminum stoves. I've shown mine. But I'm telling you right now, that Trangia, I am so tickled to freaking death to have it. Because that is something that is made to be able to compare by. Now I'm showing the frothiness of the coffee here. I've had, in the Stanley Adventure, I've had a problem, not really much of a problem, but when the coffee starts to boil, it goes up above the line and actually boils over. You want to watch that coffee when you're making Cowboy coffee. You want to watch it real close. And when it starts to boil and hear it starting to roll over, you see it starting from the right to the left because the Trangia is not quite centered underneath that cook pot. But when it starts to boil, your coffee grounds will suddenly just disappear. And that's when you take it off. You can leave it on there a little bit longer, up to a minute, they say. But if it starts to boil over, you want to take it off. Y'all pay attention. Cook. Look at what you're doing, okay? Now, I'm probably fixing to tick some people off out here, and I really don't mean to. But there's one thing that I do, and that's love to cook. And there are some folks out there that love lids for some reason in the camping community, the bushcraft community, whatever you want to call it, that wants a lid to snap shut on top of their pots. That don't make no sense. Your lids at home don't do it on the pots. Why in the Hades would you want it to do it out there in the sticks? No, sir. You don't want that snuffer to snap shut on top when you're sitting there trying to put the fire out. Why? Because it's hot to handle. You want to be able to pick your lid up, check your food, and put it back down. You don't want anything to bind, grab, collect. No, sir. If you have a problem and you want to turn your pot upside down, put a Ranger band on it. That is why you're not cooking. But while you're cooking, you don't want that to happen. There's the Stanley Adventure Camp Cook Set cups. There's not many people out there that like them, and there just so happens that me and Donny Pavolini Outdoors love them damn cups. But there's a reason we do. It's because those dudes are so sturdy. Now here's another video I put in here, showing the Chef Boyardee spaghetti and macaroni, the microwave version, compared to the Stanley Adventure Cook. It's not the same capacity. They're saying that's heavy. Y'all, I don't have my scale. My wife removed my scales. I don't know where it's at, and she's asleep right now. I decided that this little, besides me dropping it, I decided that these might be a good alternative to an ultralight backpacker. But I know that it's not as sturdy as those Camp Cook sets, the ones on the left, the green one. The green cup holds up so much better. So I decided I was going to do a little bit of a test right here while I was putting this video together. Here we go. Oh, and by the way, the lid is not compatible. I wish it was. I wished it was, but it's not. I had to show it here. I want to show a whole video on the Chef Boyardee microwave spaghetti, that cup that you see there. I want to do that. Now this part here is unedited. I'm going to show why Donnie and I both love the Stanley Adventure Camp Cook Set cups. Now, I had to put my shoes on. I didn't think y'all want to see me in my bare socks. Those are big old 12 sizes. I'm 220 pounds, give or take a few. Y'all, that cup's not going anywhere. I am bouncing myself between the refrigerator and the corner of the wall there in the kitchen. That's not an optical illusion. Those cups are solid, so shut up. Okay? Here I'm going to show the Chef Boyardee. Now, I truly expected this thing to collapse. I even put the lid on, thinking that would give it a little extra oomph. And I was actually impressed, y'all. I was very, very impressed with how well this held up under my weight. Yeah, I'm showing my foot there, showing this is not a trick. I actually put all my weight on, and when I lifted up, I felt the cap, the lid, give way. And I thought that the cup was going to collapse at any moment, but it didn't. Now, if I had wiggled around a little bit, it probably would have. Now, here I'm going to take the lid off. I'm showing the lid. The lid is the only thing that collapsed at this point. So I'm very, very, very impressed, y'all. Very impressed. There's no damage anywhere. But I'm fixing to do it again without the lid on there, and that's where you start to see a failure. So there may be something to this. Yeah, there's 4 holes in the lid. That's because it's microwavable. We're taking something that is designed for one thing and trying to use it for another. And I think it will work well as a cup, although the capacity is just not there. Here we go. Does the cup collapse? Oh, it crunched. It did crunch, but guess what? 220 pounds at least. It popped the label. It popped the freaking label, but it did not collapse. There is some damage to it. But ladies and gentlemen, let's give it out a shout out to Chef Boyardee. This is stuff that you threw away. It held up under 220 pounds at least. With my pants, it might have been 230 pounds. Those shoes, come on now. That's a tough ass little container. Alright, I'm very impressed with that. So, we're going to go back to the Cowboy coffee now. I just want to throw that in for you. I would love to recommend this product here called Cowboy. This is French vanilla creamer. $1. It's already pre-sweetened, and it has the most excellent French vanilla flavor. It says to refrigerate after opening, but we don't keep this little container here long enough at the house to even have to worry about it going bad. I would recommend you guys, if you like French vanilla and sugar, that sweetness together, put this in your backpack. Take this out there and make your, add your creamer, this stuff right here. This is all we ever use. And it don't take much. Give it a little shake. We're going to add that amount, and the way I do this, so that I never have to add a spoon to stir, I put my creamer in there first, take my coffee, I'm trying to do this so the camera can see, and I pour my coffee from the top, kind of at a high altitude, so that it mixes as it pours. Ladies and gentlemen, if you get any coffee grounds in there whatsoever, it's because you don't know how to make Cowboy coffee, which is the most stupidly simple way to make coffee, and it tastes the best. Coffee has been mixed. It's ready to go, except cooling down just a bit. Now here's the coffee grounds. That's why you add the extra water. They settle at the bottom. Swish it around, pour it out, wipe it out, and you're done. Okay, I don't want you guys and gals to think that I'm trying to trick you in any way. I'm going to pour out the excess coffee here. I want you to look at the bottom of this. Let me, hold on. That's not cool. I want to turn this upside down. I want you to tell me if you see any soot anywhere. Trying to get you out. You're upside down there. Wetting my finger, doing the drag test along the bottom. There's no soot. The only thing that it's going to do is, under normal wear, it's going to put that brown patina on there. It always has, always will, using isopropyl and that type of hybrid mix. And y'all, that don't bother me not one bit. That is a clean vessel. Except the coffee grounds that are left in it. That is very clean. It discolored the bottom. This bottom was just, I should have showed that, was just as shiny as this part here. But just a light discolor. And I mean, come on folks. There's my Stanley. You see how dark that is compared to this new container, this new Canteen. And that of course is not soot, not one bit. I love that Stanley, and I got a feeling I'm going to fall back in love with the Canteen cup, especially with a lid. So y'all take it easy and take them care. This is Amateur Artist Mark D. Chandler out there, wishing y'all and everybody who's watching here a happy YouTube experience. Get out there in the woods and do something productive. Have some fun. Of course, I wouldn't recommend going out right now. On today's date, it's just too damn cold out there. What do you think, baby?
That's good coffee.
Can't hear you.
That's good coffee.
All right. Not hot like hot sauce, is it? Or hot like that chicken?
No.